Greetings, so welcome to another Fate Grant Order video. So as you can see, I am pretty much almost done with this challenge quest. As you can see over here in the turn counter, it took me well over 200 turns to do this. And that's because it was actually a lot more tricky than I initially assumed. And that's because the giant boars that you gotta deal on wave 2, as you can see here, from this point onward, they all do AoE damage, they all do super effective damage against everybody except Mash, and because of the large amount of damage you're going to take, you need a lot of healing, you need a lot of defense up, you need a lot of invulnerability to survive the completely staggered noble phantasms that they're going to throw at you, and so on and so forth. So as you can see here on the screen, this is a team that I've actually managed to do it with. These are the actually first 3 servants that were in the party, and well, they are working exactly as intended. So Jean is providing us with healing and invulnerability during any noble phantasm. Mash is there so that her noble phantasm and her first skill, well honestly all of her skills, grants us a lot of defense up, invulnerability, MP generation for herself. And Merlin is there, although I don't usually use him, he's actually exactly what I needed for this party, because he can provide invulnerability on a short cooldown, he can provide healing and NP generation, which is what we're using to survive everything through healing and invulnerability. So this is a party that I did with, and hopefully you can actually find this useful for yourself. But right now we're just going to do this and that and finish off this final board, which is still at 300,000 HP. So it's going to take us quite a while. Yeah, as you can see, I don't really deal with that much damage. I did this while I was over at my parents' having lunch, and it took me well over 2 hours of playing to get to this point. Not a particularly fun challenge quest, and particularly tricky, and all for a golden foe, unfortunately. But that's just how things are these days. Oh, and by the way, Mash in her bathing suit outfit actually has different voice lines, which is pretty nice, because I actually like her. Then this way she isn't so serious, she has what's it called, a lighter attitude. So let's see, what do we have here? Let's see, what can we do? Well, we gotta continue recharging Merlin so we can keep the upper healing and MP generation on everybody. Luckily, his noble phantasm also grants him a large amount of critical stars, which helps us take down things ever so slightly faster and generate a little bit more MP. So as you can see, Mash's Noble Phantasm is absolutely amazing for withstanding AoE damage, especially if you go into overcharge, because the defense bonus, as you can see, increases defense, but increases with overcharge. That is the most important part of the entire effect. And we're just going to do this, and that'll get everybody ready for next turn, where we might eat a Noble Phantasm, so we gotta be ready. Right there you heard one of Mash's new lines in her bathing suit outfit, which is very nice. Now let's just do that. Although it doesn't really help her tank anything, she increases her MP generation by a tremendous amount. So that's why you want to use that. Now the problem here is that we can still take a Noble Phantasm next turn, because they have the ability to charge, to increase their attack and increase their MP charge by 1 tick. Every single giant board has this ability, which is what makes the Noble Phantasms stagger up a bit. When the fight starts, they all start with the exact same charge, but if one decides to charge up his MP and the others don't, then you've got to take Noble Phantasms on 2 separate turns, and if they suddenly start getting 3 turns in a row, that's when things get really crazy. And that is when Mash comes in, because of her really large defense up buff, which also applies damage cut, and her first skill actually provides more defense up and more damage, a large amount of damage cut on the first attack taken. That is what allows us to take such low amounts of damage that the healing we get from Merlin and Jean allows us to survive it. Now luckily this time he didn't actually recharge, so we can actually do this. And once again, we're going to be dealing very little damage, but we're almost there. I'm going to guess we're going to reach the 250 turn marker here. Oh, the other great thing about Jean is that these boars, when they use the Noble Phantasm, you're going to see it right now, they put a defense down debuff, and that makes the damage that they do even greater. Luckily, Jean, with her strengthening quest, is no longer stunned by her Noble Phantasm, but also it removes any debuffs the targets may have, which makes it even more amazing. So what are we going to do here? We need to start dealing a little bit of damage to help finish off this fight. Although we are slowly getting there. Now getting to this point was not easy. It required a little bit of luck, and required basically a lot of supercharging Noble Phantasms and using them almost as often as they were available. And there were a couple of times where we got down to 5,000 HP or less, which was very, very dangerous. But luckily, the healing, the amount of healing that the Mystic Code that I have equipped, which is 2,800 at max level, can provide, the MP charge of 20%, the MP charge that Mash can get with her second skill that also provides invulnerability, also helped us finish up charging MP so we could use them. So honestly, this team seems like an amazing team that you can try. Now, if you don't have Jean, who can you use in this part? You might try Irie instead of Jean. Irie does provide a larger amount of healing than Jean does, but she doesn't have as much HP, and she doesn't provide invincibility, unfortunately. But it's something you can try. Someone else you could try is, as you can see, we still took a significant amount of damage that turn, but we are almost done here. So let's go like that and like that. Yes. So who can now? The Merlin is from their friend, so you don't want to use it. And Mash has all of her skills maxed out, so that's definitely helping us with the cooldowns and the ability of power. And you may not have Jean, so that is definitely something you're going to have to toy around with and replace. There we go. Now, I did try 2 Jeans, and unfortunately they did not provide enough healing or MP generation that we needed, which is why I ended up trying out a Merlin on a whim, and it turned out to be the winning formula here. So who could you use instead of a Jean? Well, it needs to be somebody with 3 art cards in their deck, honestly. It just helps tremendously with the MP generation. Let's see, but unfortunately there aren't that many others that can actually do something like that. Maybe, what's his name? Leonidas. Maybe he can help. He does provide a large amount of defense buffing damage cut with his Noble Phantasm as well. So that's something you could try, and we're almost done here. I don't think we're going to finish it this turn, but we're definitely close. But we don't want to take any chances on random criticals that can happen. But we're almost there. Now, one of the most important parts here is that you want Mash to always go second on the Noble Phantasm chain. That increases the defense up that she gives everybody by a significantly larger amount. That it makes a very big difference at the amount of damage you're going to take. And because Merlin always heals the same amount, no matter where he is on the MP chain, you want to make sure he goes first. The only thing he gains with Overcharge is extra critical stars, which do help a little bit, but that's not what we're after. Okay, 40k more. So as you can see, even right there, the reason we actually took damage even with Mash's Noble Phantasm up is because that boar had 2 stacks of his attack up and MP charge. And that is what it can actually suddenly deal tremendous amounts of damage to you. We're gonna go with this right now. Okay, 20,000 left, or 7,000 left. Yeah, we have this in the bag, finally. And we're going to finish this off with Jean. There we go. And with this, we finally finished up this second quest here. Oh. There we go, victory! Whew. Okay, so that was the team I decided to bring along. Everybody there, except for Heracles, has 3 arts cards in their deck. It says Kiara, you may not have her, but as you can see, I didn't end up using any of my secondary party members because the party just managed to work amazingly. So, what did we get all that for? I think it was just for a golden foe, unfortunately. So, let's see. Come on, give me my reward. I fought very long and hard for this. There it is, a 4-star foe. There we go. An HP version, but oh well. But yeah. Yay, new master mission, but let's go take a look at the team and how it was built. So as you can see here, I gave Jean the arts card effectiveness to basically make sure she could charge up her MP a lot faster than normal, although you could replace this one with the one for Tosaka on it, with this one here, which is 25%. Now, Mash I gave this one because it increases her MP gain, which is absolutely super important because we need her Noble Phantasm ready almost every 3 or 4 turns, so we can reduce the amount of damage we're taking. So that's why I chose with that one. The Merlin had a current event crafted, so it was irrelevant what I gave him. And everybody else didn't come into the party, so that was kind of irrelevant. Now, the Mystic code I chose was this one because this skill here will heal your entire party for 2,800 every 10 turns, which can be the difference between being on a safe amount of health and not. And then this one grants somebody 20% MP charge. That can make the difference between launching a charge or not. And this one, which redistributes command cards, can be super important because if you suddenly get bad luck and get no arts cards in an entire set, you just use that and hopefully get an arts cards, and that should help you get the arch chain going to keep the MP chains going. So yeah, so you can ignore the entire right side of the servants. Jean, Mash, and a support Merlin are exactly what you need. If you don't have Jean, as I mentioned earlier, you might want to try Irie here. She is an event servant, so you hopefully do have her. And she has a bunch of healing, and she can go invincible and increase her MP gain. And she can restore HP to one ally, and she can increase her own HP healing effectiveness. And as you can see, restore HP and apply Guts one time for all allies. The restore HP part is the important part. Although I will say that the invincibility part of Jean's Noble Phantasm really made a very, very big difference. So if you don't have Irie either, who could you go with? We're trying to find art servants here that could be useful. I don't think Mary from the summer event does anything useful. Not really. Her Noble Phantasm. Nope, that doesn't really help much. Unfortunately, there really aren't that many options that we can use to keep our health up and invincibility without Jean, which kind of sucks. But anyway, yeah. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you find this useful in designing a strategy that you can actually use with your own servants. As you can see, I didn't actually use any command seals, which was lucky of me, and I found a winning combination with the servants I actually had. So, with that said, we will see you next time for this year's summer event, which will be very, very interesting. So, later.